Asante sana for having me.
But we grow together.
Yeah.
Personally, I'd like to know who's Boogie behind the scene, behind social media, outside acting. Who are you?
Boogie is a human. I'm a human. I'm a son. I'm a brother. I'm a friend to many. But at the same time, Boogie is just a young, super ambitious individual, actor, artist, creator. Yeah, who's navigating through life and doing the best I can with what I have. Yeah, so that's Boogie. I usually just say I'm human. A human going through the human experiences. Yeah.
What time do you run? Are you a 5 a.m. person? Do you wake up when the sun is out?
Honestly, it depends. Like when I'm on set, most of the time you find that we wake up, like the call times are super early, the pickups are super early. So when I'm in that zone, like 4:30, 4 a.m, but umeamka 5 a.m. Sometimes when I'm offset and I'm resting, nitapata extend nimeamka around 9 or 10. But what I came to understand about myself is I work well with structure.
Yeah.
So when the structure is not there, I can fall off.
Okay.
And that's a journey that I've had to go through, because I've been on, as you said, I was a child actor, then school, then set, school, set, school, set. After Form 4, same thing, set. So the minute when I took a break, offset, I realized like the structures that are keeping me on
They're not there anymore.
They're not there anymore.
Yeah.
So right now I'm waking up for myself. So that was a bit challenging. It was so challenging. And there's a day like I used to wake up at 11, 12. I feel nothing depressed. Seen anything to do during the day. I haven't planned my day out, so meaning I won't have any productivity. But all that, I had to go through that to understand myself. So personally for me, I know I'm a person who works with structure. And if my structure says I need to be up by 7, I need to be up by 6 or 4, I'll be up at 4.
Okay. Share with us the journey that led you to acting at the age of 11 and how your earlier experiences have shaped you up to now and going forward.
My best friend was called Deno at the time. We used to stay in the same estate. They moved to Kawaskari. So one day nimeenda holiday kumvisit. Then I walk into the estate, naona gate kina Almasi, yeah, TV. So I ask him, yo bro, si hapa Nicole, kina Almasi? He's like, yeah. In fact, over the weekend, sometimes we are allowed to go and hang out there. I was like, what? I told mom that there's this opportunity here. It's called Machachari. I want to be going here over the weekends. My mom took on the challenge, like, yo, ukikuwa discipline, only do utakuwa unaenda Machachari. So for a huge part of the time, I was just disciplined because of that. Not because I need to be disciplined. Nilikuwa na teach food niweze kwenda set.
Okay.
Yeah, so I started off there. After 1 year, they held auditions. When we went to the audition room, they were auditioning for a character, Kenny. And Kenny was like, I was the brother to Triza. And Triza was the role that was being casted. The supporting role, because they wanted to add more life to Govi. So, mi nilikuwa supporting.
Interesting.
Yeah, so nilienda hapo tulikuwa makianika 15. Just went there when it was, so every time it's my turn, I used narudi kwa line, narudi nyuma, ingia. Until it was then ulifika mapema, until it was now me, I was the last person. And I was anxious because I could see some of the kids there. The guy who's the casting director's junior uncle yake, nani uncle yake, nani umeletwa na maparo wao. Me, I was dropped in town by my mom, so nimekam na van set. And I went in and I aced the audition. And Martin Gidinji, shout out to Mato, like he was so impressed, super impressed with me. And they casted me for Kenny. And when I started Kenny, in fact, my scenes were very minimal. But 4 years down the line, just being very consistent with my craft and also being very pushing and being very hungry, I used to just, that's a good thing with a small role, you can alter it. So I used to fix my own lines hapo, naeka masheng zangu, naongeza tu spices zangu hapo na hapo, and the directors loved it. And with no time, the audience now started saying, we want to see Kenny, we want to see. So they started scripting me more. Then Baha, Almasi, and Fatso, they went to high school. So me and Govi, they needed characters to like fill in.
Continue.
Yeah, so like the last 3 years of Machachari now is like a supporting cast. Then Machachari, by the time when I was coming to, like now I was being written as a lead. Like the last 10 scripts I did there, I was like a lead. So I'm there in almost every scene. Show comes to an end.
That's no...
Yeah, but I did like a lot of auditions until I got Dream Child. And now Dream Child set me up to the next level in Ingiza for this other side of the industry. Because the industry kulikuwa na hii side ya Citizen na hizi local shows.
Yeah.
Then there was this other side of feature films, movies, limited series, which was now film.
Yeah.
And from then on, I didn't stop.
What is a tradition or a value that was instilled in you by your family as a child that you deeply hold on to up until now?
I come from a very small family. It's just me and my brother and my mom. I lost my dad when I was very young, so I've been raised by my mom for a very huge part of my upbringing. And man, me, I watched my mom like perform miracles, like, you know what I mean, like grinding and hustling. I've watched her when things were really, really bad. And one of the things that my mom taught me is resilience. Yeah, there'll be good times, there'll be bad times, but resilience. Always picking yourself up, yourself. Not waiting for anyone to save you, not waiting for any favors from anyone. You have to be always the one to pick yourself up and being resilient. So from a very young age, I was aware of that. So even the days when I used to come back home and I cried to mom, man, wamemaliza show. Mom, this and this and this and this. One value that she instilled in me was that. And the second one is just respect and kindness. Kindness has opened doors for me. Like just being kind, like, if you chill with me on set, even the guys know. Me, I'm usually best friends with like the runners. I said, hapo ndo kuna vibe na hapo ndo kuna everything. But I remember even when I was starting in Dream Child, like the guy who was doing, was one of the runners. Right now he's an AD. And he's the one who called me. He's a casting director. He's the one who called me in some of the opportunities that I got. Boogie, on a casting show, pull up. So resilience, kindness, even if you're going through the worst time and the worst period of your life, you have to just be kind. Everybody is going through that, and kindness can open doors that you're not even aware of. And so I think those are the two main things that my family instilled in me. But even my big brother, like resilience is something that it's built in us. So whether things are high, whether things are low, just being aware that it will pass, being calm in the moment, and always picking yourself up by yourself, understanding that no one owes you a thing, no one owes you anything. Atujulikuwa Machachari, atujulikuwa Kina, you have to always pick yourself up. So that's one thing I learned up close from my mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
The neighborhood that you grew up in, and the people you are around, how can you say they contributed towards building your artistic vision and your work ethic?
I was raised in Langata, Rubia, but hatukuwa mababi. Yeah.
Assumption
ulikuwa mababi. Yeah. So yeah. But you know, assumption tulikuwa mababi. So even I couldn't relate with most of the people because mnaenda kucheza, wasa wanaongea kuhusu cartoons za Nickelodeon. Manze umewatch tu ile run ya KTN. I don't always have an opinion. So what I used to do, bro, nilikuwa naenda just hapo Rubia ukitoka uende hivi kuna Southlands Estate. Opposite Southlands kuna ghetto. Kuna ghetto hapo ilikuwa inaitwa Kijiji. I used to go play in Kijiji a lot. So unajua ningeenda Kijiji, mimi ndio babi kiasi. Nasemanga, so huko naweza relate na wao, ni wachanue tuongee kuhusu vitu za nini. But funny enough, hata madhangu kwanza alikuwa nadhani mimi ni fiat. Because that's where nililearn in deep sharing, that's where nililearn survival. Like most of my friends tunatoka ball wanaenda kuchota maji na mitungi. Naona most of my friends nilikuwa naona wanatembea mguu chuma. Like I used to appreciate life sana nikiona mabeste wangu wa ghetto. Nikikamisa nyingine nikamcheza na mabeste wangu kwa basketball court ama pitch. Man say it's a totally different reality. You know, even the things tuna complain huko, wana complain DSTV jalipwa. Isa nyingine tumecheza, boys analia, man say, izeni waseni nimebit leo sijadishi lunch. So it gave me the balance and the clarity in life, and I was able to maneuver. That's even my first role in Machachari was a ghetto kid. And I aced it. And guys used to tell me, Bugi umereziwa wapi? Nawambia Lang'ata, guys, mimi nimetoka Rubia, but they didn't understand. So having that, I was able to see life from these two perspectives as a very young kid, and I was able to appreciate what I have. So then nikiwa tu hapo Esto, I used to love it. I used to appreciate my mom. I used to appreciate the fact that we can stay in such a house, in such an estate. Because I know some of my friends leo, wenye manze lazima watembe chuo, wenye for sure ukienda kucheza ball. There's a time nilikuwa naiba vitu home, niwapelekee tucheze tu nini. There's a time nilikuwa huko na nipeleka tu adventures za ghetto. So hapo kijiji, wasi wakibai mafireworks huku kwa super, sisi tulikuwa tunabai zile za bob huko ghetto za nini. So for me was the people around me, especially my friends, when tulikuwa tunacheza na wao, because I used to play football a lot. Kutoka kijiji, walinipa hiyo perspective ya understand life venye ni different. Also on this other side, pia walinipa perspective ya understand, to appreciate what I have.
Do you feel like such sort of physical transformation impacts how you emotionally connect to the role?
Yeah, because first of all, it's a sign of intention. You're like, I'm doing this role, I'm becoming this person. So it's a strong sign of intention when you alter something in you physically. Kuna mademu nyo wana go bald. One of my favorite actors, Machachari, one of our recent projects, he went bald for it, you know. So the minute you shave, like for me when I was shaving the locks, I was very intentional of this role. So that makes you connect more with the role, because now you become the person fully. And that's the best way. One of the best way of acting is just becoming the person. And you can never judge the person. You can never judge the character. And that helps you perform to the best of your ability. It becomes tricky when maybe some of the things that anchor the character are not so positive.
Yeah.
And maybe they conflict with your principles,
or morals.
But that's how you learn, and your morals, but that's how you learn to separate the character, Boogie, from the character. So for me, for sure, like shaving the roles, altering certain aspects of my physique or myself, the way I talk, the way I look at you, the way I respond, the way I react is very, very vital, because now you become the character. And it sets an intention of you're actually very intentional about doing this role. Director, you're saying my role is a high school kid, there's no way I can have dreadlocks. Mzee wangu ni principal, I'd want to, but there's no way I can have it sour. I'm shaving. And once you shave, for me, that's a sign of I'm committing to this. There's no going back. And also that's one thing, it's act. Leo naweza pata role na niambiwe ninyoe, I'll shave. So that means you're not always attached to a lot of physical aspects about yourself.
Yeah.
Especially with the roles. So it's very tricky, because also at the same time you might forget yourself. It has happened to me. I've dived deep into roles where I've totally forgot myself. But at the same time, the minute you're done with the role, you can now bring back the things that used to anchor Boogie. You know, you can have subtle things. It can be a photo, maybe of you before you did the role. It can be a ring, it can be something you wear, it can be someone you love, your best friend, your nanny, you just go chill with them. So that's another thing that I've come to understand even here. We weren't taught that, unfortunately, in our industry, which is so unfortunate. But we need to teach actors how to de-role. Actors get into characters, we are very emotional, we use our physical, mental, and emotional strength. And sometimes we can lose balance. And when we lose that balance, we now start to escape. We start the drugs, you start smoking up, you start drinking a lot, you're just... And even when you're outside with your friends are like, who's this new person? Someone who met you before the role, they won't relate to it. Totally different person. So one thing I would urge actors is de-rolling. And that's one thing when I got management, and after 1 or 2 years after my shows, and I was finishing Volume and Salem, my manager actually realized that I was so drained and this wasn't the same Boogie that I met before. And we had to start the healing process and the recovery process. Because all my years since I was a kid, I never took a break. I never intentionally took a break to get back to myself. So it was role after role after role. And we started slowly, what do you love doing? Do you want to take a break? We need to start therapy so that you can understand your emotions a little bit better.
Yeah.
So that's one thing we're not doing in the industry. And it's very, very, very sad. And we've lost a lot of actors. We've lost a lot of legends in not so good circumstances because of this. So even I would urge every young actor who's performing, someone who's getting into the arts, take care of your mental health, because hii kazi yetu si rahisi. Remember, your work is to put yourself in someone else's reality, and you can easily lose yours in the process.
How do you balance between throwing in that secret sauce of yours and carrying out the director's vision?
I usually dig deep in my character, layer it, then I have conversations with my directors. So Karian, this is what I think I should go. This is my direction. Tosh, I feel this is how I'd be talking. The direction gives me the vision, because at the end of the day, the director has the vision of the writer. So he has the vision of how it looks, but also how we should perform the characters.
Yeah.
So it's working very close with the directors. And also, for me, I usually say I'm just a pawn. I'm just working it out. But also, I always have that magic sauce in terms of my performance. So the director will tell me, say this line exactly as it is, and I'll do it. But maybe the way I walk, the way I react to it, the way I look at my castmate will kind of switch and twist it. So it's working closely with my director, understanding his vision, and also making my director understand why I'm doing so and so. So for me, if it's a long-term show, like the first 10, 20 episodes, I'll be very chilled, getting the back. Once even the director is trusting me with the character, like, well, sasa umeingia character kabisa, you fully understand and you've layered your character, then it becomes even easier. But especially now where I'm old and I'm doing more sophisticated roles, you can't alter everything, because now, because you're writer ni nini. But so what you can alter a line, but you never alter the meaning or the messaging of the line.
What sort of impact would you like to have on the Kenyan industry and on the global industry as well, on an individual capacity?
I think for me was, and I was even speaking with Anchi about this, was I really want the next set of actors, or the next generation of actors, to have someone to look up to and be excited about this. Right now, even with actors, like we feel like reaching Lupita's height is close to impossible, or Edgar Dege, it's very hard. We don't have a blueprint or a structure on how to get there. For me, it's hopefully I will have the impact of bringing it closer to home and making the next set of actors realize that this is possible. This is possible, actually. Reaching those heights is possible. And it's not even just about winning an Oscar or being in Hollywood. Is being a big, respected actor and also an amazing performer here and globally. But you've set out a path or a structure of how people can follow and how the next set of actors can come through. In terms of impact, is I really love talking to the youth, for the youth, and with the youth. So even I'm very specific with roles that I pick. And even sometimes the roles that I fight for are roles that I feel like, well, directly when another young person, another young boogie is watching, another young guy, another who's watching is like, fuck, I relate to that guy. I relate to that role kabisa. And that was me with characters such as Tito. I've done a feature called Sleep, which is amazing, it's a very crazy character, where the lead actor was getting molested. It was me, I was playing that role. He was getting molested by the dad, he ends up killing the whole family. It was really, really dope. So for me, it's being very impactful with my roles, that with every role I'm playing, I'm being used as a vessel.
Okay.
So this role that Boogie did, like, oh my God, I really felt it. It altered me, it shifted me. It the same way a musician, when they're creating music and they're writing, they want this to impact whoever is listening to in a certain way. So for me, it's that.
Have you ever had that someone come up to you and say, I watched you on this show and it really touched my life, or something like that?
Yeah, there was a time, place I was staying,
Park huko.
yeah, and there's this neighbor of mine who watches an APS a lot. And one day he just opened up to me and he told me, Boogie, me I was in rehab a few months ago. I was like, yeah. And I was watching you every day. Nilikuwa tunaenda nawaitisha simu, wanieke Showmax, ni watch Tito. Because your story is my story. I have a very toxic relationship with my dad. I was trying to escape that, and I went into the hood and I got into drugs and I got into this. Even up to date, I'm not okay fully with my dad. We have such a very, 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 very toxic relationship. And when I watched you and I was watching Tito, I was relating 100%.
How did you get into the event industry?
I used to be invited to a lot of events, which many of my young friends used to organize, Akina Summerfest, Akina Street Nani. Then I started being friends with them and I started curating ideas of, okay, we can do this, we can do this. And I was like, this is something I can do on the side because it's all entertainment. I knew a lot of artists who are my friends and they were willing to support me. So I started to just do minor events. I did my first one in a club called Club Image in Thika. And I used some of my friends who are artists, were Gengeton, Akina Swad, Akina Epic, Akina Boondocks. And then I invited some of my cast members who we used to act with. And the place had a capacity of 300 people. We ended up having like 1,200 people outside.
What?
It was crazy. It was so full. And it was called the Mid-Young Party, and that was then. Then right after that, I got to meet a few guys who introduced me to Bridget Cheng. Bridget Cheng was calling me actually to host the event. Then I was like, hey, this NIFEST, what's NIFEST 1? What's the organization about? And I started giving out ideas and I started structuring it. And she was like, yeah, I think I can have you part of the team. And we did a successful NIFEST 1 with Joe Boy. Obviously, a lot happened in the back end, and then I realized, okay, maybe this is not. This is it's a tricky event it's a tricky industry to be at, especially when you're young.
Yeah.
And then acting came back, and I just put it on the side.
What would you say would be one of your biggest W and one of your biggest L?
I think one of my biggest achievements will be volume, definitely. Being a Netflix lead, that was dope for me. I had worked for it and I reached there and it was so amazing for me. One of my biggest L's, but I'd say, I wouldn't state the, the project, but I'd say missing out on a really, really amazing role that I wanted to do. And I wasn't given the role. So for me, that was, it was really, what can I say? It took me back a bit. I almost questioned my ability, even though unakuwa reassured it's not about your performance and everything, but that was an L for me. I think that was one L for me, missing out on a really huge project that I wanted. I went to the auditions, did my best, put my best foot forward, but I just didn't get the role.
What specific habits or routines have you developed that contribute to your success as an actor and filmmaker?
Therapy, especially right now. Yeah, I can say therapy. Working out, and a lot of research. When I watch movies, I just don't watch movies to watch. I identify the character that I love and I dig deep. I can watch a movie 5 times not just because I love it, but because I want to understand the performance of the particular actor. So for me, mini school of Netflix and YouTube, by the way, I never went to school for acting.
Yeah.
So those habits have really helped me. So even when I'm on my low, and for me working out, I don't do gym, but as I said, I used to run a lot, just keep my body active. And also right now, therapy has been very heavy for me because now I'm in control of my emotions are way, way better. And I'm in control of my feelings, which are my key tools of trade. Yeah, and also deep research.
Can you share any unconventional strategies or cheat codes that can help propel a young actor?
Always inquire about the character you're going to audition for, and also try and inquire about all the other characters. And be very open to try out the other characters. Never go to an audition for one character, unless that's the only one that fits you in the brief. Because that's what happened to me. I went to audition for this, then I saw another character that I fit, and I tried it out, and I ended up getting this other one. So for me, it's always that. Be open. Just be open to experiences, but always be smart enough. Whoever is sending you the casting call, if you have a personal relationship with them, that's great, because you can always inquire beforehand and be like, okay, which other role can I try out as I'm auditioning for this? But yeah, and even right now, one of the greatest cheat codes is social media. Yeah, social media. Doing your own acting tapes, doing your own monologues, you can create a whole brand right off social media, and now the production houses will start coming to look for you. Or when you go to that audition, at least you've built a brand out of that.
Have you had a moment of failure that happened and propelled you?
Machachari, like the ending wasn't that great. Even the way we were dismissed wasn't wasn't good. I wouldn't say it was good. I was young, I was in pain a lot. I didn't understand. Like, I just felt bad about it. But also that I just used that pain to really push me and go to auditions because I wanted to prove a point. And I ended up proving that point to myself, not even other people.
Okay.
So I used that pain to like audition more and audition more. And that's always happened to me. Whenever I lose a gig, whenever I lose an opportunity, and there's pain and I feel like this is an opportunity that I would have got, I use that to propel me.
What inspires your drip?
When I just like to look good, feel good, you know, anything that looks good on my body.
Yeah.
So I really don't have someone that I borrow inspiration from different people, but my main inspiration is actually just me, myself. Just anything that looks good on me, anything that I feel that fits my body. And I love to look good. This is definitely Jipe apparel. One of the most interesting aspects about Jipe is when I started working for them, the owner of Jipe, Bonnie, is like, she's just an interesting character. You know, I love her so much and her fashion sense and the way she understands fashion. And she understood me and Boogie and how I want to feel. So ever since I've been dressed by them, I feel like I'm well represented. So my main inspiration is looking good, and I just have the right guys who make me feel that. Yeah.
How do you stay innovative and ahead of the industry?
For me, it's the hunger. Like right now, I'm very hungry for work. I'm yearning to work. I'm very hungry for that. And if you're not being casted, because also there's another aspect of after this show, you now sit and wait for a writer and a producer to think about a character that will fit Boogie. So me always having that hunger after a long race, that hunger of going back to screen, always leads me to innovate. And that's why right now I'm innovative. Like if they're not writing, then I'll write for myself. I shoot my own short films, I shoot my own skits. So for me, it's always trying to stay ahead and trying to stay on toes. And that brings, as I've said, that brings innovation. When you're hungry and no one is serving you the plate, you have to go to the kitchen and make your own food.
How do you measure success?
For me, my measure of success is doing what I love and doing it better than I did the previous time I did it. So for me, I'm always my SI unit of competition. So with every role, did I do it as good as I did my last role? You know, as an actor, you're only good as your last role. So for me, that's my measure of success. And also, in the process, did I enjoy doing this? Am I enjoying being an actor? You know, right now, do I enjoy being an actor? So for me, my measure of success is, do I enjoy doing this? And am I better than I was the last time I did it?
Can you discuss a risk that you've taken in your career that significantly paid off?
We were in conflict even with my mom's, because she was like, yo, Boogie, even after high school, you need to go to campus, you need to go to school, you need to push. And at that same year when I got Kina and when I got Kina, it was the time when I was to go to Kenya Film School. And also at the same time, Mom really wanted me to go to school. But I was just like, saying, Mom, I need this. Otherwise, I'll just be remembered for Machachari. You know, I need to push through and do this. And it was a risk for me because, in our society, kama hujaenda campus, kama hujafanya so and so, then you're not fit enough. And I took that risk and it paid off heavily because the back-to-back projects that I had to do elevated me to reach where I am today. And I strongly believe maybe if I was in school at that time, it would have stunted my growth in a way. So for me, it was that choosing the path and the career because I was already doing it and I was doing it well. And just believing that this is your career and this is your path and you can still push through. And when it's time, you'll go back to school when you're ready.
The late Charles, considering him a mentor and a friend, can you reflect on how this relationship impacted your personal and professional life?
First of all, rest in peace, Charles. Charles is an amazing person, an amazing actor, creator, legend in the industry. He was all part of us. One thing I got from Charles is the love and the passion for the craft. He was totally invested and loved the craft, and his urge to see us and our generation do better and surpass the bars that they set of their generation. And also at the same time, that's when I understood the importance also of mental health and taking care of yourself and understanding that it gets overwhelming, because he was very open about that. Even when we talked, he was like, it gets hard. You need to find your balance. You need to find your rest. You need to find you. So for me, it was also a wake-up call with everything that happened, with even the journey when we were working together. I came to understand myself better as an artist. I came to love the craft even though the conditions were tough. But also the most important aspect of it was taking care of yourself. Just taking care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself. And that's one thing I picked up and I'm intentionally doing right now.
What does excellence mean to you personally, and how do you strive to embody it in your daily life?
Proving yourself right. The goals, the dreams that you put on that board, however big or ever small, but I don't believe in small goals. However big those goals are, like proving yourself right and actually achieving them, that's excellence for me. For you, not for me, not for you, not for any other person, for you. If you set out a goal and you're like, my goal was to do an interview with so-and-so and you've hit it, that's excellence for me. You know, for me, it was to play this role, be in this set, be in this, whatever capacity I'm in. Even if I'm there as an extra, I'm in this set, that's excellence for me.
Which music, book, TV, movie, or podcast are you listening or watching or reading right now?
Podcast is Heinz, a guy called Heinz, Hindz. He has dreadlocks, very calm guy, I love him. Music, currently I'm actually listening to a lot. I consume a lot of local content, but right now I'm listening to Njerai and Watenda Willy, sana sana. Book, wow, nimeweka kitabu kando kidogo. Yeah.
Which song, album, or movie best describes your life and why?
We Are All Alone in This Together by Dave. There's some amazing tracks there, Survivor's Guilt, Heart Attack, that I feel like they describe my journey and the challenges that I've gone through. And I relate with him heavily because Dave is a rapper and also an actor from UK. But I feel like the way he writes, I totally relate with that, the ups and downs of being an entertainer and being an artist. In terms of a movie, which movie do I relate to a lot right now? Snowfall. The boy Downs. You know, even Snowfall is crazy, like his curves, his ups and downs, and the fact that the only con with Downson is the character that he played was like he didn't hold himself back before he crashed.
Okay.
But definitely the hustle and the challenges that he's going through in order to become who he is, I look at it and I'm like, oh, this is amazing. So Snowfall and also Top Boy.
Given a chance to collaborate with a brand or personality, who will it be?
I'd love to collaborate with Michael Ward. He's the lead actor for Top Boy. Just love his performance. And even in our region, most of the people I'd love to collaborate with are not even actors.
Yeah, information.
Yeah, Nyashinsky and BN, in terms of and not as artists, but just as individuals, and just try to be, to top up their greatness. Yeah, they're so great, man. Those two people are so great.
If you had to put together your ultimate top 5 actors.
Sawa, kama kawaida, this one we won't even give a why. Denzel Washington. Number 2 is Cillian Murphy. He played Thomas Shelby in Peaky Blinders and also Oppenheimer. Like, he acts with his eyes, like he's so intense. I love his acting. Tusombedu from South Africa. She's amazing. I love her. A young, brilliant guy called Faiz Ouma. He played Castro in Volume. Faiz is so brilliant. He's a brilliant performer. And ni wengi bana. Hapo umeniweka kwa spot.
We've kind of a full.
We have kind of a full, but moja. Nasema niko na wengi.
Tuongeze mmoja we end up.
Pale nitawekelea. Nini Washera. One of my all-time goats. Greatest. She's one of the best actors we have in the region. Yeah, I mean, Nini Washera is she's so good. She's so good. I've attended her master classes. I love her performance and how she she interprets her role. So for me, that would be like a dream team. But definitely there's so many other actors that I've worked and I'd love to have on the list. Machachari, actors like Makena Kahuha, actors like, there are so many, George Moore, especially here in Kenya, we have so many brilliant actors, Melvin Alusa. So yeah, but my top 5, I'd say
Those ones.